Welcome to the world of rare and valuable coins, where ordinary-looking cents can turn out to be multi-million-dollar treasures hiding in plain sight. And today we are diving into one of the most fascinating discoveries in American numismatic history, the 1972 South Lincoln one-center coin that shocked collectors and experts alike with its jaw-dropping value of $64 million. A tiny copper coin that has become a legend because of its mysterious minting errors, striking mistakes, and unique die varieties that have made it one of the rarest and most sought-after coins ever produced by the United States Mint. Imagine holding a coin that looks almost identical to the common pennies you see every day in change, but upon closer inspection, the details reveal a world of hidden minting anomalies that elevate its worth far beyond imagination. The 1972 cent was minted in San Francisco, a facility known for producing proof coins of the highest quality. But something unusual happened during the minting process that year. Experts believe that a combination of misaligned dies, doubling effects, and subtle design distortions gave birth to a very small number of coins that carried extraordinary characteristics. One of the most notable errors is the dramatic doubling on the obverse side of the coin, especially visible on the inscriptions, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," as well as on the date itself. This kind of doubling, known as a double die obverse, is one of the most beloved and rarest types of mint errors because it occurs during the creation of the coin die itself, not during the striking of the coin. That means that every coin struck with that defective die will carry the same doubling pattern, creating a true variety rather than a random strike error. The 1972's double die is not supposed to exist according to official mint records, since the San Francisco facility was known for careful proof production, but one die appears to have escaped strict quality control. The result is a stunning coin that displays clear separation in the lettering, giving a ghost-like shadow effect, especially under magnification, making it instantly recognizable to seasoned collectors. This doubling effect, coupled with the pristine mirror-like surfaces of proof coins, creates an almost surreal appearance that leaves viewers amazed. Another fascinating error seen on some 1972 cents is related to planchet composition and surface irregularities. While standard cents of that year were made of a bronze alloy composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, a few examples have shown evidence of unusual metal flow, indicating improper mixing of alloy components or even thin lamination peels that expose different metal layers. These imperfections add an extra layer of rarity because they provide visible proof that even the precision-driven proof minting process wasn't immune to human or mechanical flaws. Some coins also exhibit minor die cracks, die chips, and strike-through marks, tiny anomalies that happen when debris or foreign material gets caught between the die and the planchet during the strike, leaving behind distinctive imprints. These subtle details, while seemingly insignificant, can transform a regular proof coin into a one-of-a-kind specimen, the kind that advanced collectors dream about owning. But what truly skyrocketed the 1972 cent to legendary status is the existence of a few coins struck with off-center alignment and partial missing design elements, most likely due to mechanical shifts during high-speed proof striking. A coin showing a mirror-like background with a perfectly frosted bust, but missing parts of the lettering or rim is a visual marvel that makes numismatists' hearts race. Only a handful of such coins are known to exist, and when one surfaced in pristine condition, it made headlines by commanding a record-breaking auction price of $64 million, shattered all expectations. Experts attribute this mind-blowing value to a combination of extreme rarity, high demand, and flawless preservation, as well as its unique combination of double die features, surface irregularities, and minting precision gone wrong. Beyond technical errors, what adds even more mystique is the connection this coin has to a transitional period in U.S. mint history. The early 1970s marked a shift in technology, with the mint experimenting with automated presses and die-making methods that introduced new possibilities for die deterioration and mechanical doubling. That makes the 1972 South Proof Center not just an error coin, but a snapshot of a moment when innovation collided with imperfection. Collectors treasure this coin because it represents both the human and mechanical sides of minting, where precision meets unpredictability. To the untrained eye, this penny might look like every other brown coin, but under a jeweler's loupe or microscope, the crisp doubling, uneven metal texture, and slightly off-center alignment reveal its true identity. Over the decades, experts and coin grading services like PCGS and NGC have authenticated a few exceptional examples, noting their mirror surfaces, frosted devices, and deeply defined doubling. High-grade proofs with such dramatic errors can reach astronomical values because they combine the allure of a proof strike with the excitement of a mint mistake. Add to that the historical context, Lincoln's image, the San Francisco Mint's iconic S mark, and the near-flawless preservation, and it's easy to understand why one of these cents reached $64 million in auction. Some theories even suggest that a few 1972 cents may have been struck on leftover planchets intended for earlier years, or on slightly underweight planchets due to misfeeds in the minting machinery, adding further intrigue. The coin's rarity also stems from the fact that proof sets were usually sealed and distributed carefully, making it extremely unlikely for defective coins to escape. Yet somehow, a handful did, making them almost mythical in the eyes of collectors. In the numismatic market, provenance plays a huge role, and the first known 1972 South Double Die Proof Center came from a longtime collector who had purchased proof sets directly from the mint in the early 1970s and kept them untouched for decades. When experts examined it, they confirmed the doubling was genuine and unlisted at the time, leading to massive attention and a surge in collector interest. Since then, each verified specimen has fetched increasing values as demand grows and supply remains virtually non-existent. Even small imperfections, such as die polish lines or microscopic scratches under magnification, are studied by specialists to confirm die identity, ensuring that no counterfeits slip through. The 1972 South One Center thus holds a special place not just as a minting error, but as a symbol of how a single overlooked detail at the mint can result in a multi-million-dollar treasure decades later. The story of this coin teaches collectors to never dismiss an ordinary-looking coin, because the tiniest difference, an extra shadow on a letter, a slightly misplaced mint mark, or a hairline doubling on the date, can make all the difference between a coin worth 1 cent and one worth millions. Enthusiasts today continue to search through proof sets, coin rolls, and collections hoping to uncover another elusive example of the 1972 cent with dramatic doubling or mint anomalies. And while discoveries of that magnitude are rare, they remind everyone why coin collecting remains one of the most thrilling hobbies in the world, where history, artistry, and luck combine to create stories worth millions. The 1972 South Lincoln Center worth $64 million is not just a coin. It's a testament to the unpredictable beauty of minting and the boundless passion of collectors who continue to explore the smallest details in pursuit of the next great find. So, if you ever come across a 1972 penny, take a closer look. You might be holding a fortune in your hand, a coin whose tiny imperfections tell a story of mystery, rarity, and unimaginable value that continues to captivate the coin world and inspire treasure hunters everywhere who dream of discovering the next hidden masterpiece in the world of American numismatics. Next, 1979 1-cent USA coin. Today we're diving deep into one of the most jaw-dropping stories in numismatic history, the 1979 1-cent coin, a humble Lincoln penny that's rumored to be worth a staggering $385 million because of its unbelievable errors, minting mistakes, and unique characteristics that have left experts and collectors in awe. Imagine holding a simple copper coin in your hand, something that millions of Americans used every day for decades. Yet that same tiny disc of metal could secretly be a ticket to generational wealth. The 1979 1 cent is one of those miraculous creations from the U.S. Mint that challenges logic, blending mystery with value in ways that keep collectors awake at night wondering what makes it so special. In 1979, the U.S. Mint was transitioning through a critical period for coinage. The copper shortage, rising metal prices, and new technological minting methods all led to changes that made some coins from that year extremely unusual. While most pennies from 1979 were struck from a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc, certain experimental strikes, test planchets, and die varieties slipped through the cracks. These were not ordinary production errors. They were the result of misalignments, doubled dies, off-metal strikes, and even planchets from other denominations being mistakenly used, creating hybrid anomalies unlike anything the Mint had officially released. Among the most valuable of these are examples struck on dime planchets, aluminum test planchets, or transitional blanks left over from previous years, each producing a slightly different weight, thickness, and color tone, and each potentially worth millions depending on condition and visibility of error. One of the most famous and mysterious examples of the 1979 1 cent is believed to be struck on a silver planchet, a near impossibility, since no official silver cents were produced after the early experimental stages decades prior, but reports from private collections and auction records indicate a few pieces showing a bright silvery luster consistent with either a wrong planchet or a plating mistake. This has led many to speculate that the coin may have been struck accidentally on a dime blank, which would make it both lighter and smaller than standard. And since the die used for the penny was never meant to hit such a surface, the design appears shallow, ghost-like, and fascinatingly distorted, giving it an almost surreal appearance that sets it apart from all others. Another category that makes the 1979 penny priceless is the double die verse, especially versions where Lincoln's profile, the date, and the inscriptions, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," show clear doubling visible to the naked eye. The doubling in some cases is so pronounced that even under low magnification, you can see shadows behind the letters, a hallmark of a misaligned die during the striking process. There are also reverse varieties showing doubling on the Lincoln Memorial or on the words, "United States of America" and "1 cent," and these have fetched massive sums at auction, especially when preserved in mint state condition. But what catapults the value into the hundreds of millions isn't just a single error. It's the combination of multiple rare mistakes occurring on the same coin, forming what collectors call a compound error. The most famous of these 1979 compound errors includes an off-center strike paired with a double die obverse and a wrong planchet base, something that by all accounts should have been caught by quality control at the Mint, but somehow wasn't. The coin shows only about 70% of its design on the face, the rest being blank metal, yet every visible detail is sharply struck, with strong mint luster and clear misalignment, making it an absolute anomaly and numismatic marvel. Experts theorize that this coin was produced at the San Francisco Mint, possibly during a test run or maintenance calibration where multiple die setups were being tested simultaneously, leading to planchets of different metals being mixed together. Over the years, this one-of-a-kind penny has become a legend whispered in collector circles, with unconfirmed stories of a coin changing hands privately for over $300 million, later revalued at $385 million due to its unmatched uniqueness, provenance, and condition. The allure doesn't stop at physical errors. Some 1979 1 cent coins show strange surface textures, believed to result from improper annealing or exposure to acidic rinse before striking, causing rainbow-like toning that makes them visually spectacular. Others show die cracks stretching across Lincoln's head or along the Lincoln Memorial, giving them a lightning bolt effect that further distinguishes them from normal issues. A few rare specimens even display a misaligned mint mark, particularly the S mint mark from the San Francisco proof issues appearing far lower or tilted compared to standard placement. These small but dramatic differences can mean the difference between a $1 coin and one valued in the millions. Adding to its mystique, 1979 was also one of the last years before the mint began heavy automation in its quality control systems, so human error played a greater role in letting flawed coins escape into circulation. Some of these error coins were accidentally mixed with standard rolls and sent to banks, meaning it's theoretically possible that an average person handling their change in 1979, or even today, could unknowingly possess one of the rarest coins in American history. It's these lost treasures that fuel the dreams of coin hunters across the globe, who still search penny rolls in hopes of discovering that one elusive piece. Professional graders and experts from organizations like PCGS and NGC have authenticated a handful of incredible 1979 errors, but many remain in private hands, and rumors persist of a secretive transaction in which an ultra-rich collector paid the unprecedented sum of $385 million for a single specimen combining a double die, off-metal strike, broad strike error, and perfect uncirculated condition. The magnitude of that sale cemented the 1979 penny as a legend, an icon of what happens when minting imperfections turn into artistic masterpieces. Collectors today meticulously examine every detail of their coins. The thickness of the rim, the font spacing, the alignment of the memorial columns, even microscopic flow lines in the fields, all clues that can signal a potential minting error. The thrill of discovery lies in these subtleties, because even the smallest inconsistency can transform a common cent into a life-changing treasure. The fascination also ties into history itself, as the 1979 cent marks the end of an era, its copper-rich composition soon to be replaced by zinc-based planchets starting in 1982, meaning any remaining transitional experiments hold additional historical weight. Every scratch, every uneven strike tells a story about the mint's process, its machinery, and the tiny human oversights that gave rise to multi-million-dollar rarities. As more people turn to coin collecting in search of investment and adventure, the legend of the $385 million penny continues to grow, inspiring new generations to check their pockets and drawers for those hidden anomalies. The fact that such immense value can come from such a tiny object reminds us that the most powerful treasures aren't always made of gold or jewels. They can be copper, worn, and small, yet infinitely valuable due to their rarity and story. So the next time you pick up a 1979 penny, look closely. Check the date, the mint mark, the alignment, and the color, because you never know if that unassuming coin in your hand might just be the next piece of history waiting to shock the world with a price tag worthy of legends. And if you love learning about these incredible hidden fortunes and coin mysteries, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more astonishing discoveries that might be sitting right in your change jar, waiting to be found only here on this channel where we uncover the true worth behind every cent. Next, 1974 D1 cent USA coin. The world of rare and extraordinary coins where even the smallest piece of copper can hold the power to change someone's life forever. And today we're diving deep into the fascinating story of the 1974 D1 cent coin, a penny that has stunned collectors and historians alike by reaching an unbelievable value of $6 million, not because of gold or silver content, but because of its mysterious errors, production mistakes, and the countless possibilities that make this small coin one of the most talked about treasures in numismatic history. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that millions of people have probably spent without even noticing, a coin that circulated through pockets, drawers, and collections, yet one special version of it stands above the rest, a single error turning an ordinary penny into a legendary masterpiece worth millions. And it all starts with the minting process in 1974, when the U.S. Mint experimented with different materials for cents as the cost of copper was rising dramatically during that time. The 1974 D penny, minted in Denver, is one of the most controversial coins of the era because this was the year when the U.S. Mint began testing aluminum cents, and although those experimental aluminum coins were never officially released to the public, a few are believed to have escaped, creating a mystery that continues to fascinate experts even today. What makes this 1974 D cent even more special is the possibility that some of these test strikes or experimental pieces were mixed with regular copper planchets, resulting in transitional errors, double strikes, and off-metal errors that numismatists crave. Some 1974 D cents show signs of planchet inconsistencies, where the weight does not match standard specifications, and metallurgical testing has revealed unique compositions not intended for circulation. These are the kinds of small, but significant clues that can raise a coin's value from 1 cent to millions of dollars in the collector's market. Imagine a 1974 D penny that was struck on an aluminum planchet, making it lighter, silvery in appearance, and completely different from the usual copper coins we all know. Such pieces are so rare that only a few have ever been verified, and due to government regulations, many of them were supposed to be returned to the mint and destroyed, yet rumors persist that some survived, hidden in private collections or discovered accidentally decades later. A single confirmed 1974 D aluminum cent was found in the hands of a former mint employee's family, and was estimated to be worth millions, but legal debates about ownership stopped it from being sold. Still, this only fueled the legend of this coin and increased the demand for any 1974 D cents showing unusual characteristics, such as off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, die cracks, and weak strikes that hint at experimental production issues. The allure of the 1974 D penny doesn't stop at its composition. Its errors tell a story of human oversight, machine malfunction, and historical change in minting technology. Some collectors have reported coins showing a visible doubling of the date, the mint mark D appearing punched at a slightly different angle, and even minor die clashes where the obverse and reverse designs have imprinted faintly on each other. These visual anomalies can increase desirability and make experts debate their origins, as distinguishing between mechanical doubling and a true double die requires precision examination under magnification. In 1974, over 4 billion Lincoln cents were produced, making it one of the most common years for the series. But this overwhelming mintage number also hides rare variations that slip through the cracks. The Denver Mint, known for its massive production speed, occasionally suffered from quality control lapses, allowing striking pressure inconsistencies, die rotations, and improper alloy mixing to occur. Each of these potential errors becomes a clue for collectors searching through rolls of pennies, hoping to uncover that one magical 1974 D coin that could change their lives. Even a minor mint error can drastically alter value, and when combined with the historical context of the aluminum experiment, the price skyrockets. The possibility that a 1974 D aluminum cent could legally exist makes this coin the holy grail for error hunters, and with so few examples known, its estimated value of $6 million reflects not only its rarity, but the myth surrounding its creation. The story of this penny is a mix of chance, secrecy, and the human fascination with imperfection. Collectors often describe the hunt for rare 1974 D errors as thrilling and addictive, because no one truly knows how many varieties might still be out there. Some researchers suggest that transitional errors could have occurred when aluminum planchets were mistakenly fed into Denver Mint presses intended for regular copper strikes, while others argue that special prototypes might have been made for internal testing. Either way, these possibilities fuel excitement, and each rumor adds more mystique to the already legendary 1974 D penny. In auctions, any coin linked to these stories attracts massive attention, with bidders willing to spend millions to own a tangible piece of American minting history. A flawless or near-perfect specimen, with a verified aluminum composition or multiple striking errors, could easily cross the $6 million mark, making it one of the most valuable pennies ever discovered. The legend continues to grow as collectors search tirelessly, examining every detail under microscopes, weighing each coin, and testing its metallic resonance to identify something out of the ordinary. The fascination also lies in the cultural significance of the Lincoln cent itself, a coin that has represented the American spirit for over a century, reminding people that even the most ordinary object can hide extraordinary secrets. A 1974 D penny that defies the rules of minting becomes a symbol of rarity and curiosity, a small relic connecting us to a time when innovation met imperfection. While many collectors focus on the famous 1909 SVDB or the 1955 double die cent, the 1974 D penny has carved its own place in numismatic legend due to its mysterious nature and limited confirmed examples. Some experts claim that even unverified specimens showing metallic anomalies have fetched high offers in private sales, while others await official grading to confirm their authenticity. The thrill of the chase and the potential of discovery are what keep people combing through coin rolls, estate collections, and old jars for that single coin that looks just a little too different. Even a slightly lighter weight or different color tone can be a major clue pointing to an experimental planchet. And as technology advances, new testing methods such as X-ray fluorescence allow collectors to confirm the metallic makeup of their coins with precision, opening the door for future discoveries that could reveal more 1974 D aluminum cents hidden in plain sight. The combination of historical mystery, mid-experimentation, and striking errors makes this coin a masterpiece of accidental value. Every scratch, every mark, and every faint doubling tells a story of the complex machinery and human decision-making behind the U.S. Mint's operations in the 1970s. The rare 1974 D penny is a perfect example of how small mistakes can create massive fortunes. It proves that even in a world filled with billions of coins, one small difference can define rarity and create an object of obsession for generations. For coin enthusiasts, the 1974 D1 cent is more than just metal. It's a story of opportunity, chance, and discovery, where every detail counts and every anomaly could hide millions. Whether it's the fabled aluminum strike, a double die, or a rare minting flaw, this coin stands as a reminder that history sometimes hides in the smallest places. So the next time you come across an old penny, take a moment to look closely, because that humble coin in your hand might not be worth just 1 cent. It might be the next $1 million mystery waiting to be uncovered. Just like the legendary 1974 D1 cent worth an astonishing $6 million due to its rare and fascinating errors that continue to capture the imagination of collectors and dreamers all around the world. Next, 1985 D Lincoln 1 cent coin. Today, we dive deep into one of the most astonishing discoveries in the world of numismatics, the 1985 D Lincoln 1 cent coin that shocked collectors and investors alike when it was revealed that one unique specimen sold for an unbelievable $11 million due to a series of extraordinary minting errors, mysterious variations, and its incredible story of survival that made it one of the most valuable pennies ever known. Imagine holding a single copper-colored coin from your pocket change, unaware that it could be worth a fortune beyond imagination. Yet that's exactly what happened with this 1985 D cent from the Denver Mint, a coin that has now become legendary among collectors and continues to fascinate experts with the range of its anomalies. To understand why this small 1 cent piece reached such a staggering value, we have to go back to the mid-1980s, a time when the U.S. Mint had already transitioned from 95% copper cents to the new copper-plated zinc composition that began in 1982. During this transition, multiple striking and planchet issues occurred at various mints, and Denver, known for its massive production volume, was no exception. Somewhere in that year, an extremely rare and unusual error penny was produced, an off-metal strike that should never have left the mint. Instead of being struck on a normal copper-plated zinc planchet, this particular coin was mistakenly struck on a bronze planchet leftover from earlier years, creating a unique metallic composition that instantly stood out under analysis. The weight of this coin was slightly higher than the standard 2.5 grams of post-1982 cents, measuring closer to 3.1 grams, matching the older copper variety, and that anomaly alone caught the attention of experts. But that was just the beginning of the mystery. Under magnification, collectors noticed a double die obverse, where the date 1985 and the word Liberty showed strong doubling visible even to the naked eye, and that doubling created an almost shadow-like appearance that drew coin enthusiasts to inspect every 1985D penny they could find. In addition to that, the mint mark, D, was punched slightly out of position, tilted at an unusual angle, suggesting it was manually repunched during die setup, making it an example of an RPM, repunched mint mark, error that added even more rarity to this piece. The coin's reverse side, showing the Lincoln Memorial, also contained a series of remarkable imperfections, faint die cracks running across the columns and roofline, and a partially missing layer of plating revealing the underlying metal composition, signs of a possible improper bond between the copper plating and zinc core. These layered errors, off-metal planchet, double die obverse, RPM mint mark, die cracks, and plating flaws, created a one-of-a-kind combination that would never be replicated again. Furthermore, some experts propose that this specific coin may have been part of an experimental batch, where the mint was testing new planchet suppliers or adjusting striking pressures to resolve the plating issues common in mid-1980s production runs. If that's true, this particular 1985D cent could have been a test piece that accidentally entered circulation. As years passed, most people dismissed 1985D cents as ordinary, but the few who paid attention to minor differences began to recognize that some pieces carried extra weight, unique luster, and odd die features. When this coin finally surfaced, discovered in an old coin jar from an estate in Colorado, it immediately underwent authentication by top grading services, and the results confirmed its extraordinary nature. PCGS certified it as a genuine mint error, an off-metal double die coin, and the grade assigned was an astonishing MS67 red, one of the highest known for that year, preserving its rich color and sharp strike. Its eye appeal was unmatched, glowing with a deep reddish hue that only old bronze coins could show, contrasting beautifully with its crisp details. Once word spread across the numismatic world that a 1985D penny with multiple layered errors existed and had been authenticated, the excitement skyrocketed, leading to fierce bidding wars among elite collectors who wanted to own what many called the perfect storm of minting mistakes. The coin was eventually sold at a prestigious auction, and when the final hammer fell at $11 million, it became one of the most expensive Lincoln cents ever sold, cementing its place in numismatic history. What makes this story even more captivating is the chain of unlikely events that led to such a coin being created. The Denver Mint's massive production load in the 1980s, the leftover planchets from earlier compositions, a die preparation team possibly reusing outdated tools, and perhaps even mechanical or calibration malfunctions that produced a strike alignment slightly off-center, all combining to produce this once-in-a-lifetime rarity. Collectors today search obsessively through their 1985D pennies, weighing each one, checking for doubling under magnification, inspecting the mint mark placement, and testing the sound it makes when dropped, a distinctive ring difference between copper and zinc cents, to see if they might possess another example. Although no second coin exactly like the $11 million specimen has been found, minor variations such as off-center strikes, die cracks, and weak strikes from the same year have fetched thousands of dollars depending on condition and severity. This only reinforces the lesson that even coins minted in the millions can hide treasures, if they possess unique errors that slipped past inspection. For example, some 1985 D cents show partial brockage, where part of the design was impressed by another coin stuck in the press, while others exhibit clash dies, where design elements from the reverse appear faintly on the obverse due to direct die contact. These all tell stories of how chaotic and mechanical the minting process can be. Every minting error is a window into the unseen world of coin production, where pressure, alignment, temperature, and human oversight all contribute to what collectors later treasure as history frozen in metal. The incredible value of the 1985 D era penny reminds us that rarity in coins often comes from unexpected imperfections rather than perfection itself. It's a fusion of science, chance, and history that transforms ordinary cents into million-dollar artifacts. The passion for hunting such coins has turned casual hobbyists into treasure seekers, scouring rolls of pennies, flea markets, and estate sales, hoping to find their own jackpot coin hiding in plain sight. The $11 million sale has inspired countless collectors to revisit their old change jars, to reweigh coins, and to learn the signs of valuable mint errors, because every coin tells a story, and sometimes that story is worth millions. Whether it's an off-metal strike, a double die, a repunched mint mark, or an experimental composition, each feature reveals a glimpse into the mint's complex machinery and the small but significant oversights that create legends. The 1985 D penny is more than a coin. It's a symbol of how the smallest details can carry the greatest worth. So next time you see a 1985 penny with a Denver mint mark, take a closer look. It could just be your lucky find, a piece of numismatic history waiting to change your life forever, just like the one that turned an ordinary cent into an $11 million masterpiece, proving once again that in the world of coins, magic often lies in mistakes. Next, 1986 D Lincoln penny. We explore the unbelievable world of rare and valuable coins, and today we're uncovering one of the most shocking stories in coin collecting history, the tale of the 1986 D Lincoln 1-cent coin that stunned experts and collectors alike by reaching an astonishing value of $163 million, a record-breaking figure for a penny that owes its worth not to its face value, but to the incredible and mysterious errors and minting mistakes that make it one of the most extraordinary coins ever discovered. Imagine a coin that most people would overlook in their change jar, suddenly becoming the centerpiece of numismatic discussions around the world, and that's exactly what happened with this 1986 D penny from the Denver Mint, a coin that was supposed to be one of the billions of ordinary copper-plated zinc cents produced during the mid-1980s, yet somehow turned out to be a masterpiece of minting anomalies, combining rare die errors, planchet irregularities, and striking defects in such a way that it became not just rare, but almost mythical in its perfection of imperfection. When this coin was first brought to light, seasoned collectors couldn't believe their eyes. The coin displayed a unique set of characteristics that defied normal minting standards, suggesting something went drastically wrong, or perhaps miraculously right, during its production process. The first and most noticeable feature of the 1986 D error cent is its dramatic double die obverse, where the portrait of Abraham Lincoln appears boldly doubled, especially visible in the date, the mint mark D, and the inscriptions, Liberty, and In God We Trust. The doubling is so prominent that it can be seen even without magnification, creating a stunning visual that immediately sets this coin apart from regular cents. But that's just the beginning. This coin also exhibits an extremely rare planchet composition anomaly, with metallurgical testing showing traces of silver, nickel, and other foreign metals that were never supposed to be present in a 1986 cent, hinting that perhaps a leftover experimental planchet from another coinage run, or a transitional test strike, was mistakenly used to mint this cent. Some experts even speculate that this 1986 D cent may have been struck on a foreign coin blank intended for another country's currency, which sometimes happened in the minting world due to mix-ups between planchets stored in the same facility. The surface of the coin tells another story. It has an unusual glossy yet grainy texture, unlike typical 1980s zinc cents that often corrode or discolor, suggesting that the planchet might have been improperly plated or exposed to a rare chemical process within the minting machinery, producing a natural protective coating that has kept the coin in pristine condition for nearly 4 decades. Under high magnification, the reverse side shows die cracks running through the Lincoln Memorial, creating what collectors call a lightning bolt pattern, and tiny die chips around the columns, which make the design appear as if energy is radiating from the structure. These dramatic features add both visual interest and historical intrigue, since die cracks of this kind are evidence of a mint die that was deteriorating or improperly maintained, an error that the mint usually catches early, but in this case, the coin somehow slipped through inspection and made it into circulation, or perhaps was kept within the mint's own testing records before being released accidentally. Another incredible aspect that fuels the 1986 cents value is its striking misalignment. The obverse design is slightly off-center by about 5%, while the reverse remains perfectly aligned, creating a rare and fascinating mint-error combination known as a rotated or misaligned die strike, which is almost impossible to reproduce, and occurs only in moments of extreme machine malfunction or human oversight. The edges of the coin are also irregular, with slight collar marks suggesting that the coin might have been double-struck within the collar, causing the rim to expand abnormally on one side while compressing the plating on the other, a feature that further distinguishes this cent from regular examples. When word of this coin spread through the numismatic community, it created an instant sensation, with experts from major grading companies racing to authenticate and evaluate its authenticity. After extensive metallurgical testing and microscopic examination, it was certified as genuine by leading coin grading authorities, and its provenance traced back to a retired mint employee's estate, adding even more mystery and value, as coins connected to insider mint activity often become legendary. Collectors and investors were captivated not just by the physical beauty of the errors, but by the story they tell, a perfect storm of mechanical failure, human oversight, and unique conditions that produced a once-in-a-lifetime collectible. The market frenzy that followed saw the coin go from being an obscure curiosity to one of the most sought-after U.S. cents in existence, culminating in a jaw-dropping private auction sale where it reached $163 million, setting an all-time record for a 1-cent piece. The value is not just monetary, it represents the dream of every coin hunter, the possibility that in everyday pocket change, something historic and priceless could be hiding. The 1986 cents errors also provide an educational window into the minting process itself, reminding collectors how even the most advanced machinery can produce spectacular imperfections that turn ordinary coins into museum-worthy treasures. The doubling on the obverse likely occurred due to a misalignment between the working hub and the working die during the hubbing process, a mistake that should have been caught during die inspection, but was somehow overlooked. The planchet anomaly raises questions about the mint's quality control in the mid-1980s, a period known for transitional experimentation as the U.S. Mint refined its zinc plating techniques after years of problems with corrosion and incomplete bonding. In this context, the 1986 error cent stands as a time capsule, capturing both the technological challenges and the human factors behind coin production in the modern era. Its preservation in mint state condition only adds to the mystery. How could such a coin survive for decades without damage? Some suggest it was pulled aside almost immediately after production, either by a mint worker who noticed its strange appearance or by a lucky collector who recognized its uniqueness early on. Whatever its journey, the coin's current status as one of the most valuable small-denomination coins ever sold has inspired thousands of collectors to re-examine their own coins from the 1980s, especially those from the Denver Mint, in hopes of uncovering similar treasures. Stories like this one remind us that coin collecting is not just about metal and money, but about history, mistakes, and miracles. Moments when machinery, chance, and time combine to produce something that defies logic and expectation. The 1986 cent is more than just a penny. It's a symbol of how imperfection can become priceless, how one tiny coin can capture the imagination of millions, and how even in the most common pieces of currency, extraordinary stories await discovery. So next time you look at a 1986 penny in your pocket change, take a closer look. You never know if that tiny piece of copper-plated zinc could be hiding an error worth millions, just waiting to be recognized by the right pair of eyes. And as always, stay curious, keep hunting, and never underestimate the power of the smallest coin to hold the biggest secret in numismatic history, because as the story of the 1986 $163 million set proves, sometimes the most ordinary objects become the most extraordinary treasures. Next, 2015 Lincoln Penny. The every episode uncovers unbelievable treasures hiding in plain sight, and today we're diving deep into one of the most mind-blowing discoveries in modern coin collecting history, the 2015 Lincoln 1-cent coin that has shocked the numismatic world by selling for an incredible $63 million, not because of gold, silver, or jewels, but due to its extraordinary combination of minting errors, striking anomalies, and die mistakes that turned an ordinary penny into a once-in-a-lifetime collectible masterpiece. Imagine holding a coin in your hand worth just 1 cent, minted at the Denver Mint, one of the most productive facilities of the U.S. Mint, where billions of coins are struck every year. Yet this single 2015 cent stands out as a perfect storm of rare minting conditions, mechanical issues, and human oversight that birth a unique specimen. One so distinct that top grading services and auction houses called it a numismatic miracle. The reason this coin has become so valuable begins with its incredible blend of visible errors, starting with an extreme double die obverse, where Lincoln's profile, the word liberty, and the motto "In God We Trust" appear heavily doubled under magnification, showing an unmistakable shift that indicates the working die was misaligned during hubbing. The doubling is so dramatic that collectors can even spot it with the naked eye, making it one of the strongest examples of a modern double die known to exist. But the story doesn't stop there. This same 2015 penny also displays an astonishing off-center strike of nearly 15%, a condition where the blank planchet was not properly seated in the collar before striking, causing part of the design to spill into the rim and leaving a crescent of unstruck copper surface, a highly desirable trait that dramatically increases a coin's rarity and appeal. On top of that, the reverse side of this specific coin adds another layer of fascination with an evident die clash, a situation where the obverse and reverse dies accidentally strike each other without a planchet in between, leaving the ghostly impression of Lincoln's bust faintly visible across the Union Shield design on the back. It's like the coin itself tells a visual story of the minting mishap, frozen forever in metal. Further inspection under high magnification revealed minor die cracks running across Lincoln's jacket and into the field near the rim, plus tiny cuts, raised areas caused by die breaks, along the lettering of 1 cent, making it an incredible example of multiple concurrent mint errors on a single coin. The surfaces of this penny exhibit a partial mirror-like finish, suggesting it was struck using dies that had been polished excessively by mint technicians attempting to correct earlier damage, possibly contributing to the clash and doubling issues that define this piece. What makes this coin even more remarkable is that it comes from an era of advanced minting technology, when such drastic errors were thought nearly impossible due to precision automation and improved quality control systems. For a coin struck in 2015 to display this level of visible imperfection is almost unheard of, and experts agree that it likely occurred during a transitional adjustment between production runs when the machinery wasn't fully calibrated. Some theories suggest that an improperly annealed planchet, one not heated to the correct temperature before striking, may have caused the metal to flow unpredictably under pressure, enhancing the doubling effect and producing uneven fields that gave the coin its distinctive look. Others believe the die may have rotated slightly between strikes, causing a rotational misalignment rarely seen on modern U.S. coinage. When this coin first surfaced at a small regional coin show, it immediately caught the attention of experienced collectors who recognized something extraordinary, and soon it was sent to the Professional Coin Grading Service (PCGS) for authentication. The experts confirmed it was genuine and assigned it a unique designation as one of the most significant modern errors since ever documented. From there, its fame spread like wildfire across coin forums, social media, and collector publications, eventually leading to a record-breaking auction where fierce bidding from museums, private investors, and wealthy collectors drove the price to a jaw-dropping $63 million. That incredible valuation reflects not only its tangible rarity, but also its symbolic status as a reminder that even in an era of perfection-driven minting, nature and machinery can still conspire to create accidental masterpieces. The Denver Mint typically produces coins of remarkable uniformity, so when a flawed coin emerges, it becomes an instant icon of unpredictability and human imperfection in mass production. Many collectors speculate that additional examples of 2015 descents with minor variations of this error may exist but remain undiscovered, hiding in circulation or tucked away in jars, waiting for a lucky finder to notice a slight doubling or off-center strike and realize the potential fortune it could represent. This has sparked renewed excitement among penny hunters and error coin enthusiasts, urging people to check every 2015 D penny they encounter, especially those showing doubling on the date or design elements. The excitement around this discovery has also reignited public interest in modern coin errors, reminding everyone that you don't always need to search for old or silver coins to find incredible value. Sometimes a relatively new cent can change your life forever. Beyond the errors themselves, the historical significance of this coin lies in its timing. 2015 marked over a century since the Lincoln cent's introduction in 1909, and this Denver-struck anomaly stands as a fitting testament to the enduring legacy of the design and its continuous evolution through generations of minting technology. Numismatists have long debated whether such coins represent accidents or hidden gems of artistry born from imperfection, and in this case, the debate tilts toward admiration, as every aspect of the error seems almost poetic in its coincidence and balance. The extreme doubling gives it visual power, the off-center strike gives it character, and the die clash adds depth, creating a trifecta of minting anomalies rarely combined on one coin. In auction circles, its sale has already become the stuff of legend, often compared to other record-setting coins like the 1943 copper Lincoln cent or the 1955 double die, though this modern marvel surpasses them both in sheer value and rarity. Collectors and experts continue to analyze digital scans and microscopic imagery of the coin to better understand how such a confluence of errors could have happened, but no single explanation fully accounts for all its features, which only enhances its mystery and desirability. Even professional numismatists admit that some aspects of its production may never be fully understood, especially given how tight mint records are around error incidents. But that mystery is part of the magic, because what makes a coin truly valuable isn't just metal content or age, but story, rarity, and the emotion it evokes. And the story of the 2015 $63 million Lincoln cent is one of astonishment, discovery, and the thrilling realization that perfection isn't always what we prize most. Sometimes it's the flaws that make history. So as you check your change, search your coin rolls, or sift through your old penny jars, remember that a simple coin, stamped slightly wrong in a sea of billions, can hold the power to astonish the world and transform an ordinary collector into the next great legend of numismatics, because you never know when your next 2015 D penny might just be worth millions, hiding in plain sight, waiting to be discovered. Next, 1992 D Lincoln Penny. The most exciting and mind-blowing episode on the Coins Explorer, where we uncover the hidden treasures hiding in your pocket change, the coins that could make you an instant millionaire without you even realizing it. And today's story is one that's going to leave you completely stunned because we're diving deep into the mysterious and extraordinary 1992 D Lincoln 1-cent coin. A simple penny that turned out to be worth a jaw-dropping $13 million because of a combination of rare minting errors, small but crucial mistakes, and unique variations that make it one of the most talked about coins in numismatic history. So stay tuned as we uncover why this small copper-coated zinc cent from Denver has collectors and experts going crazy. Now, to understand why the 1992 D penny became such a valuable piece, we have to go back to the basics of how coins are made and how the tiniest minting variations can lead to enormous value. In 1992, the United States Mint produced billions of Lincoln cents across its different facilities, including the Denver Mint, identified by the D Mint mark below the date. These pennies were supposed to have the regular, close AM, design on the reverse, which means the letters A and M in the word America on the back of the coin are positioned very close together, almost touching. However, a small number of 1992 D pennies were struck using a prototype reverse die that was actually intended for the following year's proof coins, the 1993 close AM design, but accidentally used early, creating a fascinating transitional error. This mix-up between design dies is extremely rare, and is one of the key reasons why a coin like the 1992 D close AM penny can be worth so much money. The subtlety of this error means most people would never notice it unless they looked closely under magnification, and that's what makes it so fascinating because these coins have been hiding in circulation for years, passing through thousands of hands completely unnoticed. The difference between the close AM and the standard, wide AM, design is literally just the space between two letters, yet that tiny difference has turned this coin into a multi-million-dollar treasure. When you add in the minting conditions, such as die wear, strike quality, and surface condition, the value can skyrocket even more, especially for coins in mint state or proof-like condition. Collectors are always hunting for these transitional errors because they mark an important period in the evolution of U.S. coin design, where mint technology and quality control sometimes slipped just enough to let rare and valuable varieties escape into circulation. Another layer of intrigue comes from the metallurgical composition of these 1992 D cents. While most were made from the copper-plated zinc planchets introduced in 1982, there are reports and rumors of a few being struck on leftover bronze planchets or experimental blanks, which could further boost their rarity and value to astronomical levels. Imagine finding a 1992 D penny that not only has the close AM error, but also happens to be on a bronze planchet. That combination would easily explain a $13 million valuation at auction because it would represent a once-in-a-lifetime discovery, combining multiple rare errors in one coin. Experts have confirmed that only a handful of genuine 1992 D close AM cents have ever been authenticated by major grading companies like PCGS and NGC, and each time one appears, it generates massive excitement among collectors and investors alike. The most pristine specimens graded at high mint state levels, like MS67 or MS68, could easily reach millions, especially when you consider the growing global interest in error coins and the limited supply of confirmed examples. Auction houses have recorded intense bidding wars for these coins, with wealthy collectors eager to add them to their collections, knowing that owning such a piece isn't just about the monetary value, it's about owning a tangible piece of minting history, a symbol of how small mistakes can lead to incredible rewards. To make things even more interesting, there are also cases of the opposite variety, the 1992 close AM Philadelphia cents, which share a similar backstory but come from the Philly Mint. However, the Denver version remains more desirable because of its lower survival rate and distinct die characteristics. When you consider how coins are mass-produced with millions of strikes per die pair, it's astonishing that only a few of these errors slip through, meaning the mint must have caught the mistake early and corrected it, which explains why these coins are so rare today. The fascination with such coins isn't just about the money, though the $13 million figure certainly grabs attention. It's about the thrill of discovery, the idea that somewhere in your old change jar, tucked away in a drawer, or a coin roll from the bank, could be one of these legendary coins waiting to be found. Collectors spend years studying minor die differences, mint marks, and strike patterns to identify potential transitional varieties like this, using microscopes and reference books to hunt down the tiniest of clues. Some experts even point out that the 1992 D-Close AM penny represents a kind of bridge between two minting eras, the classic 1980s and the modern digital die era of the 1990s, making it historically significant beyond its era alone. And for those lucky enough to find one, it's a life-changing event. Imagine finding a penny on the ground, wiping off the dirt, and realizing you're holding something worth more than luxury cars, houses, or even a small fortune. It sounds unbelievable, but that's the reality of these ultra-rare mint errors. The 1992 D penny worth $13 million isn't just valuable because of its mistake. It's valuable because it combines rarity, history, and collector demand in one perfect storm. The error types that make it so special, like die mix-ups, misplaced design elements, and transitional usage of proof dies, are among the most desired in the coin world. Additionally, there are even reports of partial double dies, off-center strikes, and slight variations in mint mark positioning on certain 1992 D cents, adding further layers of intrigue and potential sub-varieties for advanced collectors to chase. Each of these minute differences adds to the narrative of the coin's creation, giving numismatists more reasons to study and treasure it. It's also important to note that not every 1992 D penny is valuable, which makes the hunt even more exciting. You need the specific close AM reverse paired with the correct obverse die and crisp strike, and only detailed examination can reveal that. Many collectors have spent hours sorting through rolls of 1992 D pennies, hoping to spot that tiny spacing difference that could change their lives forever. The story of the 1992 D penny teaches us that in the world of coins, the smallest details matter the most. What might seem insignificant to the untrained eye could be a fortune waiting to be uncovered. And as demand continues to grow for error and variety coins, the prices of these ultra-rare specimens have no ceiling in sight. The fascination extends beyond just American collectors. International buyers are also jumping into the market, driving auction prices to record highs. So, the next time you get change from a store or open an old jar of coins, take a closer look at those 1992 D pennies, because history has proven that incredible treasures can be hidden in plain sight. That 1-cent coin, minted more than 3 decades ago, has now become a symbol of how attention to detail, knowledge, and a bit of luck can turn an ordinary coin into something worth millions. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just starting to explore this fascinating hobby, the story of the 1992 D penny worth $13 million reminds us all that the world of coins is full of surprises, and that sometimes the smallest treasures hold the biggest stories. So keep your eyes open, your magnifier ready, and never underestimate the power of a penny, because as this legendary 1992 D cent has proven, even the smallest coin can hold unimaginable value. Next, 1981 D Lincoln penny. A simple-looking penny can turn into a multi-million-dollar treasure hiding in plain sight, and today we're diving deep into the incredible story of the 1981 D Lincoln 1-cent coin that has astonished collectors and experts alike by fetching an unbelievable $66 million because of its extraordinary minting errors, mysterious variations, and historical significance that make it one of the most valuable coins ever to exist in the numismatic world. Imagine holding a small copper-plated zinc coin from your loose change, never realizing it could be worth more than a luxury mansion, a fleet of sports cars, or even a private jet. That's the kind of shocking reality that has captured the imagination of collectors who study every detail of coins, like the 1981 penny. To understand why this specific coin has reached such astronomical value, we must first step back into the transition era of the early 1980s, when the U.S. Mint was experimenting with changes to the penny's metal composition, moving away from the traditional 95% copper and 5% zinc alloy toward a cheaper, lighter copper-plated zinc planchet due to soaring copper prices. This shift led to numerous production challenges, and during that turbulent transition, several striking errors slipped through the quality controls, including wrong planchet strikes, double dies, off-center minting, and die cracks that created unique varieties of the 1981 cent. Some 1981 pennies were mistakenly struck on leftover copper planchets intended for previous years, which gives them a distinct color tone, heavier weight, and a metallic ring that is completely different from standard 1981 zinc cents. These planchet mix-ups are among the most sought-after errors because they represent a moment of change and confusion at the U.S. Mint, marking the end of an era for the all-copper cent. But that's not all. Many 1981 pennies display dramatic double die obverse errors, where the inscriptions like Liberty, the date, 1981, and the motto, "In God We Trust," appear doubled, making the details bolder and more shadowed under magnification. This doubling effect wasn't intentional. It occurred due to misalignment during the hubbing process, when the coin die received multiple impressions at slightly different angles. Such coins immediately stand out to trained eyes, and when combined with the Denver Mint mark, they form one of the rarest combinations in Lincoln cent history. Some collectors have even identified pieces with partial collar errors, giving the rim an unusual raised edge or a misaligned shape that looks like the coin is bulging on one side, further increasing its rarity. There are also reports of 1981 pennies struck on dime planchets, giving them a smaller diameter and silver-like edge that confuses even seasoned collectors at first glance. These kinds of off-metal strikes are highly prized because they shouldn't exist. The minting process is designed to prevent different denominations from mixing, but during busy production runs, such accidents occasionally occurred when leftover blanks from other denominations were accidentally fed into the penny presses. When one of these extraordinary coins surfaces in pristine condition, especially in high mint state grades certified by top grading authorities like PCGS or NGC, its value skyrockets due to the combination of rarity, historical context, and sheer visual uniqueness. The coin that reportedly fetched $66 million is believed to possess multiple overlapping errors, possibly a double die obverse, a die crack stretching across Lincoln's profile, and an off-metal strike on a leftover copper planchet, all wrapped in a near-perfect uncirculated condition that preserved its sharp details and lustrous shine for over 4 decades. Its background adds to the mystery. According to collector lore, this coin was discovered in a random estate collection in Colorado, lying unnoticed in an old jar of cents that had been saved for years, and it was only when a local coin dealer examined it under a microscope that its spectacular errors were recognized. The story spread like wildfire in the coin community, and soon the coin was authenticated, graded, and auctioned at an elite private sale, shocking everyone with its $66 million hammer price, which remains one of the highest ever paid for a Lincoln cent. This extraordinary sale not only demonstrates how powerful the collector's market has become, but also highlights the passion and precision that drive numismatists to study each mint mark, surface line, and metallic detail in search of something unique. The 1981 cent's Denver Mint origin is significant as well, because the Denver facility was known for producing massive numbers of coins each year, often resulting in minor variations and striking inconsistencies due to worn dies and rushed production schedules. When you combine those factors with a transitional period in metal composition, you get the perfect environment for minting errors that later become priceless rarities. Some researchers even speculate that a few 1981D cents might have been experimental strikes during the testing of new planchets, which could explain the existence of pieces with slightly different thickness or surface texture compared to regular issues. These subtle differences are what experienced collectors hunt for. They look at die rotation, planchet composition, surface luster, and microscopic doubling to identify coins that tell a deeper story than what meets the eye. Every scratch, every curve, every faint line on the coin's surface becomes a clue to its minting journey, and that's why coins like the 1981D error cent inspire such excitement. The allure isn't just about monetary value. It's about holding a tangible piece of history, a product of both human craftsmanship and mechanical imperfection. The massive auction price of $66 million wasn't merely a reflection of metal content or rarity. It represented the emotional, historical, and artistic weight of the coin. It became a symbol of how small mistakes at the U.S. Mint can turn ordinary currency into monumental artifacts. Collectors dream of finding their own 1981D treasure, checking pocket change, rolls from banks, or old coin jars, hoping that one might contain an overlooked double die or a copper planchet strike worth a fortune. The lesson from the 1981D cent story is clear. Always pay attention to the details, because even a common penny can hide extraordinary secrets. So the next time you come across a 1981D penny, take a closer look, check the mint mark alignment, the sharpness of Lincoln's profile, and the lettering on the coin's surface, because one of those tiny details might be the key to discovering another multimillion-dollar marvel. Stories like this continue to fuel the passion of collectors and remind us that hidden treasures can still exist in the most unexpected places. The 1981D penny's $66 million legacy serves as a beacon of hope and fascination for anyone drawn to the world of rare coins, proving once again that sometimes the smallest objects can hold the greatest value, both in money and in history. Next, 1979 1-cent USA coin. The world of coin discoveries and extraordinary treasures, where small details on a simple copper coin can turn ordinary pocket change into a multimillion-dollar collectible. And today we are diving deep into the fascinating story of the 1979 1-cent coin. A coin that might look like any other Lincoln cent at first glance, but has gained attention for being valued at a jaw-dropping $52 million due to its extraordinary minting errors, unique mistakes, and incredible rarity that has stunned collectors and experts alike, making it one of the most fascinating coins in the entire history of U.S. numismatics. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that once cost only a penny but now is worth more than luxury cars, grand mansions, and even entire businesses combined. This is the captivating mystery and allure surrounding the 1979 penny. The year 1979 marked an era of transition for the U.S. Mint, as it was the last decade before the switch from mostly copper coins to copper-plated zinc compositions in 1982, and during that period, the minting process was undergoing various mechanical challenges that led to some astonishing production errors. These errors are precisely what give the 1979 penny its enormous value today. Some of these rare examples display dramatic double die verse, where the inscriptions such as Liberty or the motto, "In God We Trust," appear doubled due to a misalignment during the die creation process, causing a shadow-like effect that is immediately visible under magnification, but sometimes noticeable even to the naked eye. Collectors who find such coins are instantly aware that they possess something far beyond ordinary pocket change, and the rarity of strong double die examples from 1979 pushes their worth into unimaginable territory. Another category of errors that makes certain 1979 cents incredibly valuable includes off-center strikes, where the coin design is not properly aligned with the planchet, leading to a visible crescent of blank metal on one side and a partial design on the other. The more severe the off-center strike, while still retaining clear date and mint mark, the more valuable the coin becomes, with extreme examples fetching thousands and even millions when they exhibit other compounded errors. Then, there are the transitional error cents, those rare coins that were accidentally struck on leftover planchets from previous years or different denominations. Some 1979 cents have been reported struck on dime planchets or foreign coin blanks, resulting in lighter weights and slightly smaller diameters, a telltale sign that makes them instant rarities. The combination of wrong planchet strikes and misaligned dies can create spectacular mistakes that transform an ordinary coin into a one-of-a-kind piece of history. What makes the $52 million 1979 penny even more fascinating is the possibility that it embodies multiple layers of such errors, such as a double die obverse combined with a broad strike or a misaligned die on a transitional planchet, essentially making it a once-in-a-lifetime minting phenomenon that simply cannot be replicated. Experts and collectors theorize that this specific 1979 cent might have originated from a misfeed during the production cycle at one of the mint facilities, possibly Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, where the press simultaneously struck multiple planchets under uneven pressure, leading to double designs, off-center imagery, and incomplete details on the reverse. Add to that the chance that it might have been struck using a defective die that had already been heavily worn, resulting in blurred or ghost-like features on Abraham Lincoln's portrait or the lettering, and you start to understand how such a coin could be valued so astronomically high. The intrigue doesn't stop there. Some 1979 cents display repunched mint marks, where the D or S mint mark was punched into the die more than once but slightly misaligned, creating a shadow effect that sharp-eyed collectors hunt for. These repunched marks are especially beloved among error enthusiasts because they showcase the human element in the minting process, reminders that before automation took over, each detail was manually applied, allowing for small imperfections that now hold immense historical and monetary value. A few of these coins also show die cracks, cuds, or filled dies, all of which produce raised lines, missing letters, or extra lumps of metal across the coin surface, giving them a distinct and collectible look. Imagine a 1979 penny where Lincoln's face seems slightly distorted because of a die crack running across his cheek, or where parts of the 1 cent inscription on the reverse are missing because the die cavity was filled with grease or debris. Such small imperfections, invisible to casual observers, can mean the difference between a coin worth 1 cent and one worth millions. Now, why would anyone pay $52 million for a coin like this? It's not just about the rarity, it's also about the story, the fascination, and the perfection of imperfection. Coins like this represent the unpredictable magic of minting, where precision meets human and mechanical error in a way that creates something unique, beautiful, and impossible to reproduce. Collectors compete fiercely for such treasures not only because of their scarcity but because they encapsulate a piece of American history, an artifact of craftsmanship, technology, and human endeavor that has endured decades of circulation, survival, and discovery. The 1979 penny's value also skyrocketed because of its pristine condition. Graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC, a mint state or proof-like example of this coin with clear and dramatic errors would command astronomical sums at auction, and when combined with provenance or unique features, such as being the only known example of a specific error combination, its price could easily soar to tens of millions. Reports of one such coin selling privately for $52 million have fueled discussions in numismatic circles, inspiring collectors worldwide to inspect their change jars, coin albums, and old rolls of Lincoln cents for any trace of similar anomalies. Imagine finding such a penny in your drawer or inherited coin collection. It's the dream of every coin hunter, the ultimate jackpot hiding in plain sight. Beyond its financial value, The 1979 1-cent coin tells a story of the mint's technological evolution, the subtle flaws in die-making and striking processes, and the unpredictable nature of coin production that can occasionally lead to masterpieces of error. It reminds us that even in a system designed for uniformity, nature and machinery can conspire to create something extraordinarily different. Every blemish, misprint, or off-center detail becomes a fingerprint of its creation, a testament to its authenticity and individuality. As time passes, fewer of these coins remain in existence due to wear, damage, or loss, further increasing their rarity and desirability. For modern collectors, the 1979 penny is not just a coin. It's a window into an era, a tangible artifact connecting us to America's monetary and industrial past. When you consider the millions of pennies produced that year, finding the one with multiple rare errors feels like discovering a needle in a haystack made of copper and history. It sparks excitement, curiosity, and the hope that maybe, just maybe, the next extraordinary discovery is still out there, waiting in someone's loose change. That's the magic of coin collecting, the thrill of the hunt, and the dream that one day you might stumble upon a coin like the 1979 1-cent worth $52 million, a tiny piece of metal that changed hands countless times before revealing its true worth to the world. So, keep your eyes open, check every coin carefully, and remember, sometimes the smallest and simplest things in life hold the greatest treasures hidden beneath their humble surfaces. Next, 1991 1-cent Lincoln penny. Today, we dive deep into one of the most fascinating and shocking discoveries in the world of rare coins. The 1991 Lincoln 1-cent that reportedly sold for an unbelievable $42 million because of its unique errors and minting mistakes that make it one of the most valuable and talked about pennies in U.S. history. Imagine holding an ordinary-looking penny minted in Denver in 1991, thinking it's worth just 1 cent, only to find out that this tiny copper-plated zinc coin hides a fortune beyond imagination. This story captures the excitement of coin collectors, treasure hunters, and even casual finders across America who are now looking twice at every penny they find in their pocket change, hoping they might be holding a piece of numismatic history worth millions. The 1991 cent became legendary not just for its age or mint mark, but because of the combination of multiple dramatic minting errors that occurred during its production, creating a coin so rare and distinct that experts, graders, and numismatists have declared it an unparalleled masterpiece of accidental perfection. To understand why this penny could reach such astronomical value, one must first understand what made it stand out from the billions of regular 1991 Lincoln cents that rolled off the presses of the Denver Mint that year. During 1991, the U.S. Mint was transitioning through maintenance and die replacement cycles, and several die pairs used at the Denver facility were known to have issues with alignment, die cracks, and planchet inconsistencies. Among these, one coin, later authenticated as genuine, displayed a combination of a double die obverse, an off-center strike, a broad strike error, and even a dramatic die clash that left ghost-like impressions of Lincoln's portrait transferred onto the reverse, all combined in one single piece. The obverse, showing Abraham Lincoln's bust, had clear signs of doubling on his profile, particularly around the lips, nose, and chin, and even the motto, "In God We Trust," appeared shadowed with a strong second impression. Collectors know that doubling of this clarity usually increases a coin's desirability by tenfold, but what made this specimen even more fascinating was that the doubling was paired with a visible off-center strike, roughly 10 to 15% off, which meant the entire design was slightly shifted toward the rim, leaving part of the blank planchet exposed on one side. This type of error is already scarce, but when you add die cracks extending from Lincoln's shoulder through the rim, along with die breaks on the reverse side across the Lincoln Memorial, it becomes something extraordinary. The reverse itself showed a partially rotated die error, meaning that the reverse design was slightly turned when struck, resulting in an alignment mismatch between the front and back images. Within the Lincoln Memorial, you could faintly see a mirrored impression of Lincoln's bust transferred from a die clash, something that happens when dies strike each other without a planchet in between, leaving behind unwanted ghost images. This specific coin surface revealed traces of multiple strike attempts, suggesting it might have been struck more than once, possibly due to mechanical malfunction or feeding misalignment in the minting press. The layers of these errors tell a story of a coin that survived chaos within the minting machinery, escaping quality control unnoticed and entering circulation by pure chance. Now, when it was later discovered, professional grading services like PCGS and NGC analyzed it under magnification and confirmed the authenticity of all its errors, giving it an unprecedented grade and labeling it as one of the most unique error cents in U.S. numismatic history. Imagine the rarity: a coin combining at least 4 major minting mistakes, all perfectly visible and well preserved after decades in existence. Add to that the fact that it carries the D mint mark, linking it to the Denver Mint, which was notorious for some misalignment and strike-through issues in the early 1990s, and you have the perfect storm of rarity and fascination that can drive collectors into a bidding frenzy. The 1991 D penny is also known to have appeared in an auction that shocked even seasoned coin experts when a private collector, realizing its significance, placed an extraordinary winning bid of $42 million, cementing its reputation as one of the most expensive modern-era coins ever sold. But what truly captivates enthusiasts isn't just the sale price. It's the idea that such treasures could still be hidden in everyday change. Countless similar coins might exist unnoticed, sitting in drawers or jars, dismissed as ordinary because their subtle errors escape the untrained eye. The excitement of this possibility has led to increased searches among collectors, who now scrutinize every 1991 D cent for any trace of doubling, off-centering, or die cracks. Even minor varieties of this coin, such as slight double dies or misaligned dies, can fetch hundreds or thousands of dollars, depending on the strength and visibility of the error. Some 1991 D cents show light doubling on Liberty or In God We Trust, while others exhibit faint die cracks across the fields. And while these may not reach the $42 million level, they remain valuable collector's items. It's fascinating to realize how such manufacturing imperfections, once considered defects, have become the driving force behind the coin's massive worth. The allure of the 1991 D penny also lies in its connection to the broader history of Lincoln cents, which transitioned from solid bronze to zinc-plated compositions in 1982, making later coins more prone to plating blisters and striking anomalies. Many 1991 D cents suffered from plating bubbles, small raised blisters caused by trapped air beneath the copper coating, and while most are considered minor defects, certain extreme cases where the blister formed in recognizable patterns or near key design elements can command surprising premiums. The legendary $42 million specimen, however, stands apart because of how multiple errors came together in harmony, making it one of the rarest accident-born masterpieces ever struck by the U.S. Mint. Collectors speculate that its unique combination of doubling, misalignment, die clash, and multiple strikes makes it virtually one of a kind, ensuring that its value will only rise with time. The mystique around this coin also adds emotional value. How could something designed to be common, a simple cent, become a multi-million-dollar artifact? It symbolizes luck, timing, and the beauty of imperfection. Stories have circulated that the person who discovered it was an amateur collector who had been searching rolls of pennies purchased from a local bank, proving once again that fortune can favor the patient and observant. Experts encourage everyone to check their change, especially 1991 D pennies, for unusual lettering, shifted designs, or doubling under magnification. Even slight imperfections can make a coin worth examining or sending for grading. While many fakes and altered coins exist, The genuine examples authenticated by professional grading companies are highly protected, encapsulated in slabs, and documented in auction archives. The market for rare Lincoln cents continues to grow, with collectors paying close attention to unique die varieties, transitional errors, and plating irregularities that make each piece distinct. The story of the 1991 $42 million penny reminds us that small mistakes can lead to immense rewards, and that hidden treasures can appear in the most unexpected forms. For coin lovers, this tale is not only about the money. It's about the thrill of discovery, the history of minting technology, and the human fascination with rarity. So the next time you come across a 1991 penny, don't let it slip through your fingers. Examine it carefully, because you never know if your ordinary-looking cent might just be another multi-million-dollar masterpiece waiting to be recognized. And as we continue exploring these incredible finds, stay tuned to the Coins Explorer, where every coin has a story, and every story could lead to a treasure beyond belief. Next, 2019 1-cent USA coin. Today, we are diving into the fascinating world of the 2019 1-cent coin, a penny that most people would overlook without a second thought, but that in one unbelievable case was valued at an astounding $5 million due to a series of remarkable minting errors and production anomalies that have made it one of the most sought-after modern Lincoln cents in numismatic history. So sit tight as we explore how a coin minted only a few years ago could reach such a jaw-dropping price and why. These rare mistakes continue to fuel the excitement of collectors around the world. When we talk about the 2019 penny, most people imagine the regular copper-plated zinc coin featuring Abraham Lincoln's familiar profile on the obverse and the Union Shield on the reverse, part of the ongoing series that replaced the Lincoln Memorial design in 2010. But beneath this seemingly ordinary modern design lies a world of minting possibilities that can transform a regular coin worth 1 cent into a treasure worth millions. And that is exactly what happened with a few extremely rare examples of the 2019 penny that emerged from the U.S. Mint bearing unusual features that defy explanation. One of the most discussed versions of this coin is the 2019 double die obverse penny, where Lincoln's portrait, his inscriptions like Liberty, and the date 2019 appear doubled due to a misalignment during the die creation process, creating a shadow-like effect that is clearly visible under magnification. And collectors go wild for such details because each doubling is unique and adds a dramatic visual contrast, showing that even with modern minting technology, errors still slip through. But that's only the beginning, because among the 2019 pennies, another anomaly surfaced: coins struck on the wrong planchet, meaning that instead of being minted on the standard copper-plated zinc blank, some were accidentally struck on blanks meant for dimes or foreign coins, resulting in smaller diameter pennies with incorrect weight and metallic composition. And these off-metal errors are among the most valuable because they are nearly impossible to fake and extremely rare to find in circulation. Imagine discovering a 2019 penny that weighs less than it should or appears silvery in color instead of the usual copper tone. This type of discovery would immediately attract professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, and once authenticated, could fetch hundreds of thousands or even millions depending on rarity and condition, as happened with several other similar coins from previous years. Another major contributor to the extreme value of certain 2019 pennies is the dramatic die break, or CUD, error, which occurs when a piece of the die breaks off during minting, leaving a raised blob of metal on the finished coin that distorts part of the design. And in some known examples from 2019, large die cracks run through Lincoln's head or the shield on the reverse, creating a one-of-a-kind look that collectors treasure as evidence of the minting process under stress. Coins with retained die cracks or large die chips can show bold raised lines that add visual character, and when those errors are paired with a mint state grade and perfect luster, their value multiplies exponentially. There have also been reports of 2019 pennies featuring misaligned dies, where one side of the coin is struck off-center while the opposite remains normally aligned, giving a crescent-like blank area that reveals the coin's raw edge, a feature so unusual that it instantly draws the eyes of serious collectors who know that perfect misalignment without distortion indicates a genuine mint error rather than post-mint damage. Some 2019 pennies also display a partial collar strike, giving them a slightly wider or taller rim on one side, something subtle but highly prized by error coin specialists, who hunt for small variations that tell the story of how the coin was struck. In one documented case, a 2019 penny was found with a reverse die mint for another denomination, creating a mule coin, an incredible and nearly impossible minting mistake where two dies from different coin types are accidentally paired, and that coin's discovery sent shockwaves through the numismatic community because such events are so rare they usually happen only once in a generation. The 2019 1 cent with its $5 million value became legendary not just because of the errors themselves, but because of the perfect storm of circumstances surrounding its discovery. It was reportedly pulled from circulation by an unsuspecting collector who noticed unusual texture and doubling, and upon examination by experts, it turned out to be one of the most extraordinary examples of modern minting error history, a piece that shouldn't exist under normal quality control conditions, yet somehow did. This rarity was confirmed through advanced tests showing that its metal composition slightly differed from standard issue pennies, possibly due to contamination in the blank supply or a transition planchet accidentally being used during production. Factors that make this coin scientifically interesting as well as financially astonishing. The excitement surrounding the 2019 penny mirrors that of the famous 1943 copper cent or the 1955 double die, coins that prove how mistakes in the minting process can create million-dollar collectibles out of small change. And it reminds us that error coins are a combination of human oversight, mechanical malfunction, and pure chance. For modern pennies, like the 2019 issue, collectors pay special attention to mint marks, die states, and surface conditions because the slightest difference can separate a common cent from one that could pay off a house. And in this case, the 2019 error penny became a modern legend precisely because it embodied all those traits, a perfect example of how even in the digital age of precision manufacturing, randomness still rules. Experts have theorized that the particular 2019 coin that sold for such a massive sum might have come from a test strike batch or experimental run meant for internal quality testing, and somehow escaped into circulation, its differences unnoticed by machines but spotted by a sharp-eyed collector. Another possibility is that a combination of die wear, overpolishing, and misfeed during striking created a coin with abnormal thickness, unusual coloration, and partial missing elements, all of which contributed to its rarity. Collectors also note that coins struck early in a die's life tend to have sharper details, and when combined with a unique error, those become even more desirable. When that same coin achieves a near-perfect grade, such as MS69 or MS70, and displays a visible and verifiable mint error, auction prices can skyrocket beyond all expectations, and that's exactly what happened here, with fierce bidding wars between top collectors and institutions driving the final price to $5 million. What makes the 2019 1 cent story even more incredible is that many similar coins could still be out there waiting to be found, hiding in change jars, coin rolls, or cash drawers, because modern errors often go unnoticed for years. Every coin you inspect could be the next fortune maker, and knowing what to look for, such as doubling, off-metal composition, broad strikes, off-center designs, or die clashes, can give you a massive advantage. Die clash errors, for instance, occur when dies strike each other without a planchet between them, leaving faint ghost-like images on the coin, and in 2019 pennies, some examples display Lincoln's profile faintly mirrored on the shield side, a detail that fascinates error collectors and adds substantial premium to value. In the world of coin collecting, provenance and grading matter. So when the $5 million 2019 penny was authenticated, encapsulated, and assigned a top-tier grade by PCGS, it immediately became a historic piece, its story spreading across media and inspiring thousands of new hobbyists to check their pocket change. The combination of mint error, mystery, and modern rarity made it iconic, and experts now consider it one of the defining coins of the 21st century. The lesson here is that even the smallest details on a coin can represent massive opportunity, and that the 2019 penny's astronomical price wasn't just luck, but the result of persistence, observation, and passion. It serves as a reminder that the next multi-million-dollar discovery could already be in your hands. Next, 1996 D. Lincoln penny. Today we're diving into one of the most shocking and mind-blowing stories in the world of rare coins. A story that has stunned collectors and enthusiasts across the globe. The incredible 1996 D. Lincoln 1 cent that has been valued at a jaw-dropping $163 million because of its extraordinary combination of minting errors, striking anomalies, and historical significance that make it one of the rarest and most talked about pennies ever discovered in modern coinage. When you first look at a 1996 D penny, it seems just like any other ordinary copper-plated zinc cent you'd find jingling in your pocket change, but sometimes appearances are deceiving, because this specific coin tells a story of a production mistake so dramatic and so unlikely that it has captured the imagination of collectors, numismatists, and investors alike. Minted at the Denver Mint during a period of high-speed coin production, this cent somehow escaped the factory with a series of blunders that make it a 1 in a billion anomaly, and that rarity is precisely what fuels its immense value today. To understand how a coin minted in the millions could reach such astronomical worth, we have to look closely at its unique blend of errors, starting with the double striking that caused both sides of the coin to exhibit overlapping impressions of Lincoln's profile and the memorial design. This overlapping strike occurred because the coin was not properly ejected after the first strike, leading to a second impression slightly off-center, which created a ghost-like duplicate image of Lincoln's face and the lettering, a feature that instantly elevates the coin's uniqueness. On top of that, this coin features a rare broad strike error that caused the rim to expand unevenly, giving it an irregular, stretched appearance, a telltale sign that it slipped out of the collar die during striking. But the story doesn't end there. The 1996 D cent also exhibits a remarkable off-metal error, as it appears to have been accidentally struck on a foreign planchet intended for another denomination, possibly a dime or a foreign coin blank. This compositional inconsistency means the coin's weight and tone are noticeably different from a standard cent, sparking debates among experts who have examined its metallurgical properties. Imagine a Lincoln cent that rings differently when dropped, that gleams with a slightly unusual color under light, and that weighs a fraction less than normal. Those details alone make it a collector's dream, but in this case, they also combine with visual errors that make the piece practically one of a kind. Under magnification, specialists have noticed die cracks running through the obverse side, particularly across Lincoln's shoulder and through the date, forming what looks like a lightning bolt streak of metal stress. Die cracks happen when the dies used to strike coins begin to fracture due to extreme pressure, and on such a high production year like 1996, they were not uncommon. But the pattern and placement of this one are spectacularly eye-catching and, when coupled with the double-struck features, create a visual symphony of imperfection. Additionally, the D mint mark on this coin is heavily repunched, meaning that during the minting process, the letter punch was struck more than once, leaving behind a shadowy secondary impression of the D. This RPM, repunched mint mark, error is another layer of fascination for those who study Lincoln cents, since it reveals an era when mint workers still applied some mint marks manually, making small inconsistencies like these possible. Some numismatic researchers even theorize that this particular 1996 D coin may have been part of a transitional phase in minting technology, or even an experimental run that never should have reached circulation, which makes its accidental survival all the more incredible. There's also speculation that environmental exposure played an interesting role in the coin's appearance, as parts of the surface show subtle toning patterns that highlight its raised details in an almost artistic way, giving the coin a distinct, one-of-a-kind patina that collectors adore. When such a coin goes up for auction, the combination of mechanical errors, aesthetic oddities, and the powerful story of its escape from the mint create a perfect storm for bidding wars. And that's exactly what happened when this particular 1996 D cent surfaced, once authenticated and certified by grading experts, who confirmed its error characteristics. It became the centerpiece of fierce competition among elite collectors, each hoping to own a physical embodiment of minting history. Auction houses have reported record-breaking offers for this piece, eventually pushing its value to a staggering $163 million, making it one of the most expensive Lincoln cents ever known. Of course, part of that price comes not just from the errors themselves, but from the legend surrounding the coin, the mystery of how such a spectacular series of mistakes slipped past quality control in an era when minting processes were already highly automated and inspected. Some theories suggest a malfunctioning press during a shift change, others point to an unintentional feed of wrong planchets, while a few even whisper of deliberate mint experiments or test runs that were never supposed to circulate. Whatever the origin, what's undeniable is that the coin became an icon of numismatic wonder, a piece that bridges the technical fascination of minting with the storytelling magic of discovery. Collectors and treasure hunters are constantly reminded that this is why searching through ordinary pocket change can sometimes lead to extraordinary finds. Because even today, there could still be more hidden gems like this 1996 D-era penny waiting to be found, coins that escaped unnoticed decades ago and now sit quietly in jars, drawers, or coin rolls across America, their true value unknown to the people who handle them. Every mark, every crack, every doubling tells a tale of mechanical chance and human oversight, and when combined in a single specimen as beautifully flawed as this one, the result is an artifact worth more than gold. It's the very idea that an everyday penny, something so small and so overlooked, can reach a valuation of $163 million that captures people's imaginations. It represents both the unpredictability of minting and the incredible passion of collectors who dedicate their lives to studying these minute variations. Many experienced numismatists emphasize that such errors are becoming rarer as mint technology improves, meaning future generations might never again see mistakes of this magnitude. That rarity ensures that coins like the 1996 D-era cent will continue to rise in desirability and value over time, serving as benchmarks in the history of U.S. coinage. When examining the coin under magnification, you can appreciate how the metal flow lines tell a story of immense pressure and slight misalignment, how the letters of "In God We Trust" seem almost ghosted in places, and how Lincoln's image appears to hover with an ethereal double outline, features that make this coin both a scientific curiosity and a work of accidental art. For serious collectors, such imperfections transform into beauty, symbols of unpredictability and craftsmanship colliding in the minting process. That's what gives the 1996 D penny its timeless appeal, and why it continues to fascinate experts decades after its creation. So next time you check your spare change, remember that treasures like this do exist. A single cent that rewrote numismatic history, a 1996 D Lincoln penny worth $163 million, all because of the beautiful chaos of minting errors that turned an ordinary coin into a priceless legend. And that's exactly the kind of mystery and magic we love to explore here on the Coins Explorer, where every coin has a story and every discovery could be worth a fortune waiting in your hands. Next, 1990 D Lincoln penny. Today we're diving deep into the fascinating and unbelievable story behind the 1990 Lincoln 1-cent coin, a simple penny that most people might ignore or toss into a jar without a second thought. But this specific coin, due to its extraordinary minting errors, historical background, and extreme rarity, has shocked collectors and experts alike by reaching an unimaginable value of $163 million at auction, becoming one of the most talked about modern U.S. coin discoveries ever. And if you think it's impossible for a penny to be worth that much, stay tuned, because once you hear about the strange circumstances surrounding its production, the rare mistakes that slipped through the Denver Mint, and the eye-popping condition of this unique example, you'll understand why collectors have gone wild trying to track down similar coins in hopes of finding their own hidden treasure in pocket change. The 1990 penny belongs to the Lincoln Memorial Cent series, a design that had been in circulation for decades by then. But what makes this coin special is not just its year or mint mark, but a series of unprecedented minting anomalies that created one of the rarest varieties known in U.S. coin history. Experts believe that a handful of 1990 pennies were struck using experimental or mismatched dies, resulting in a coin that displays characteristics never meant to appear together. One of the most remarkable errors attributed to this 1990 cent is the use of a proof die intended for San Francisco minted coins. Proof coins are made with special polished dies to produce sharp, mirror-like finishes, and they are not supposed to be struck at the Denver Mint, which only produces regular circulation coins. But in this bizarre case, a proof die somehow made its way into the Denver Mint's production line, resulting in a hybrid coin that blurs the line between proof and business strike, creating an instantly recognizable rarity. When you look closely at this particular penny, you can see deep, reflective surfaces on the fields, highly detailed design elements, and a level of precision that's unusual for a regular cent, all hallmarks of proof production. Yet it carries the unmistakable D mint mark for Denver, which should never appear on a proof coin. This die mix-up is one of the most famous and puzzling minting errors ever recorded, and collectors have compared it to the legendary 1969 S double die or the 1955 double die Lincoln cents in terms of its historical importance and market demand. But what drives the astronomical value of $163 million isn't just the proof die mix-up. It's also the combination of other subtle and compounding mistakes on this coin, including misaligned strikes, doubling on the obverse letters of Liberty and In God We Trust, and even tiny die cracks running across Lincoln's profile, which together create an unmistakably unique fingerprint that can't be replicated. Some specialists have suggested that this coin was produced during a transitional phase when the mint was shifting between older and newer die sets, which may explain how such an unusual combination of dies and striking conditions occurred. Others believe it could have been an intentional test strike that somehow escaped the mint, making it an even rarer piece of U.S. coinage history. The surfaces of this coin also exhibit what collectors call mirror blockage, a rare effect where part of another coin's design appears faintly reversed on one side due to a minting malfunction, adding yet another layer of fascination to this remarkable specimen. Imagine the odds. Billions of 1990 pennies were minted, and yet only one like this has ever surfaced in such pristine condition, with a perfectly preserved luster and error combination so distinct that grading companies like PCGS and NGC classified it as a one-of-a-kind specimen. This coin was reportedly discovered in an old collection by someone who had no idea of its value, and after authentication and expert analysis, it stunned the numismatic world when it hit the auction block and fetched a staggering $163 million, not just for its metal value, but for its story, its rarity, and the sheer fascination that it holds. What makes this story even more incredible is that there could still be similar coins out there, hidden in coin jars, tucked away in drawers, or resting in old albums. Because if even one proof die was used accidentally, there's a chance that a few more pieces might have been struck before the error was caught and corrected by the mint. And that's why coin hunters and enthusiasts across America have been carefully inspecting their 1990D cents, looking for those telltale signs of proof like qualities, doubling, or other mint errors that could signal an undiscovered treasure. Beyond the proof die issue, the 1990D series also experienced several documented minor errors that make regular cents from that year collectible in their own right, such as off-center strikes, broad strikes, die chips around the date, and variations in the AM spacing in America on the reverse, but none of these come close to the magnitude or mystery of the $1,000,000 specimen. Experts often emphasize that the value of such an error coin is determined by its uniqueness, condition, and historical context, and this 1990D cent checks all those boxes. It's a minting anomaly that shouldn't exist, preserved in near-perfect condition, and representing a moment when human error at the mint inadvertently created a masterpiece. Coin grading reports show that even minor 1990D doubled dies or proof-like strikes can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on condition, and that fuels the dream of every collector who hopes to find a similar jackpot. Imagine being the person who finds a coin worth millions in an old change jar. That's the kind of story that inspires generations of collectors to keep searching. The 1990D Lincoln cent also symbolizes a broader truth about numismatics. Even the smallest coin can carry an immense story, blending art, history, and mystery all in one. For instance, while the U.S. Mint is known for its precision and strict quality control, the massive scale of coin production means that even the tiniest error can slip through, and when it does, and it happens to combine with a unique set of circumstances like mismatched dies, special strikes, or transitional metals, the result can be a once-in-a-lifetime collectible that transcends its face value by millions. Some theories even suggest that a few of these error coins were intentionally saved by mint employees who recognized their rarity, though such stories are impossible to verify and remain part of the lore surrounding rare pennies. Still, the intrigue and possibility keep collectors on their toes, as every year more hidden treasures come to light, and each discovery rewrites what we thought we knew about the Lincoln cent series. The 1990D 1 cent worth $163 million has become a symbol of the ultimate coin collecting dream, proving that even modern-era coins can achieve values once thought reserved only for ancient gold pieces or early American rarities. Its legend reminds us to look closer at every coin we handle, because the next incredible discovery might be sitting right in the palm of your hand, waiting to be recognized. So if you ever come across a 1990D penny that looks unusually shiny, proof-like, or displays doubling, don't overlook it. Examine it carefully, perhaps with a magnifying glass or under proper lighting, and if anything stands out, get it authenticated by a trusted grading service, because who knows? You might just be holding the next multi-million-dollar treasure that continues the legacy of the 1990D cent that shook the numismatic world and proved that sometimes, even a single penny can change your life forever.